Oppa Gundam style, and welcome to a new episode of WoW, Cool Robot. I'm Dan.
Hear ya.
I'm Max. This isn't G-Witch this week because Sunrise said no. Sunrise says you get a fucking recap episode we're not going to even show on Crunchyroll. So we're doing this week.
Alright.
And hopefully, by the time this episode is posted, which will be like a day after we record it, I'll have edited the show art, because I completely forgot to do that for like the 3 past mobile suits that we've had that have like been the main mobile suit each week.
We keep getting new versions of Build Strike.
You know, Dan, it's almost as if they keep on wanting us to buy new toys of it.
In a Gundam show? No.
No, it's simply not possible. The latest one is pretty fucking cool though. You get anything with a kind of like giant glowy effects on it, and I'm gonna smile and nod. This show is progressing at a really cool rate in that, like, not even the halfway point of the show, like the world tournament begins. So I gotta wonder like how this is gonna be paced for the rest of the 13 or so episodes of this. I'm intrigued. I think it's just a straight up 25 we're getting. So
Yeah. I looked when I realized we were halfway through the show, and it is 25.
damn, we'll see. But I'm really enjoying it. I like the way they're changing things up. I like just being able to see more gunplay, more fighting, more everything really. So let's say we get into it. I believe Dan, you have the summary for this first episode.
Yes. Let me pop open what I wrote up. Episode 10. The World Tournament begins. The world gets the news that the previous Gunpla champion, Carlos Caesar, was eliminated from the regionals by a teenage girl. We then cut to Reiji, practicing himself to the point of exhaustion with Sei's new Gunpla. The next day comes, and it's the day before the World Tournament. Kirara, who is providing TV commentary, explains that the current phase involves subjecting the 80 regional winners to a series of challenges that will earn them points, and the top 16 fighters will get to take part in the tournament proper. Sei and Reiji get a ride from Mr. Rawl to the hotel they'll be staying at for the tournament, but not before China is able to give them Haro-shaped good luck charms. That night, Sei and Reiji are to attend a fancy party, but Reiji decides to skip it. Sei is nervous being on his own, but soon runs into Mao, who is still wearing his hat, and Riccardo Fellini, who he has actually never met in person. Also in attendance are Kirara and Luang Dalara, the world champion veteran from Thailand. World tournament veteran from Thailand. Elsewhere in the city, Reiji is trying to hit up all the places that eat recommended to him by Mr. Rawl, but nearly all of them are sold out. Eventually, he finds the one place that still has stacks in stock. A meat bun place with a single bun left. But he's got competition. Isla is out on the town, having stocked up on sold-out snacks, and is trying to get her hands on the last meat bun. They fight over it, leading to Reiji chasing Isla, but in their struggle, the meat bun falls out of their hands and into the river. Isla is then forcibly picked up by her security, who says she shouldn't be out at all, actually. Reiji eventually gets back to his hotel room, but evidently far too late at night. The next day comes, and the Gunpla Battle World Tournament is now having its first official matches. We see our heroes take part in a variety of battles, culminating in Sei and Reiji's first match, which they're late to. The match begins, and we see Sei's new model of Build Strike, the Star Build Strike, which has some cool new abilities like a shield that absorbs beams, and the ability to generate, this powerful beam jet thing. They win their first match. After the credits, Sei and Reiji talk about their Gunpla with Mao and Fellini, but are interrupted when they see the PPSE representative walk onto the stage, the Meijin Kawaguchi, who Sei and Reiji recognize as the upperclassman who went missing, Yuuki.
I keep on wanting to call him Yuki Judai, but that's different. That's a different show.
Mm-hmm.
They should let Gundams play Yu-Gi-Oh! Though. I would like that quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'll be a gacha game, probably.
Yeah, that would. Doesn't it suck that, I mean, I might be speaking for myself because I just don't really enjoy gotchas, but I always get really bummed when they announce like a new game for a product and it's just like a gotcha game.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people were disappointed by the Nier game that became another mobile game.
Right, yeah. Like this just happened with Monster Hunter. The same developers of, is it Pokemon Masters? I think it's Pokemon Masters. No, it's not. That's DNA. Some like Nintendo mobile game. The devs of that are going to be developing a Monster Hunter mobile game, and I'm like, that sounds really cool. Then I remember the last Monster Hunter mobile game was a gotcha game, and I'm just like, oh, it's probably not going to be that cool.
That reminds me of something very strange, which is there is an Asian only, as in only sold in Asian countries, gotcha game for the Fallout series called Fallout Shelter Online. It seems to mostly draw from Fallout 4, but it's also got a bunch of Fallout 3 stuff, and also there's like crossover characters from Elder Scrolls Online and Doom Eternal.
Shit. Okay, I remember Fallout Shelter.
Yeah.
So I guess this is just like a kind of, yeah. This certainly does look like a very different kind of like gotcha-fied version of it.
Oh yeah. That's the one that has like the really good art of some of the Fallout 4 characters, like Nick.
Yeah.
This art's, holy shit, this art's really good.
Like,
yeah,
I think Nick looks more like less damage than he does in the game, which is really neat.
Oh, I like the art of dog meat. Very nice. And also, fucking like every Gundam mobile game is gotcha too, which is just like, I played like the Gundam Breaker mobile for like a day, and I was like, this is cool. I'm gonna uninstall it though, because I'm not gonna want to spend money to get fucking comfort parts. Whatever.
Yeah, I uninstalled it because my phone couldn't handle it.
That too. It's always just, that's a lot of space I could have for photos of my dog instead.
That is a pretty good thing.
I need to get a new phone eventually because I really like to just use my phone to photograph Gundam, and my god, this camera sucks.
Oh, bummer. So this one starts out, we kind of get like that same plot point reiterated of the entire world is shocked the world champion lost to a girl and like no one knows who the fuck she is. So it's just, moving from that, we get the opening. It's always really, really good. We see Sei and Reiji have like nearly passed out from training so hard, but that just means they're really, really good now. They got a power boost. And like you mentioned in the summary, we see Kirara on TV. She's like the brand ambassador, basically, for the Gunpla tournament. That rules. I'm so glad that she like continues to be a character who loves Fellini so much.
Yeah, I'm happy for her. I really love her, this like little presentation she gives.
Yeah, it's so cute. She announces that in Shizuoka, more than 80 Gunpla fighters from like 70-something countries around the world will gather for the final tournament. There will be individual team and endurance matches, and the top 16 winners go to the final tournament. So it's on this kind of like island tourney thing. There's like a dormitory there. There's like a little park. It's like a whole complex, like kind of offshore.
I've been thinking, I think spiritually, Gundam Build Fighters is the sequel to G Gundam.
I think you are absolutely correct. I mean, not only like we see suits from G Gundam, but yeah, no, it very much is world tournament, fighters around the world. They all have cool themes. The only difference here is that instead of most of those themes being racist, they're just cool different Gundams.
It's more like a popularity contest in each of the countries representing them instead.
But again, I really do like when we see the kind of like less popular deep cut suits. Like, these like very specific varieties of Jim, or just like random grunts from like different parts of the series that like no one even thinks about. It's nice. Byproduct. So we see the boys off. Rao's gonna drive them there, and like Rinko's saying goodbye, and China runs up and she gives them each a kind of like hand-stitched haro. Sei gets a green one and Reiji gets a red one. It's cute. It's sweet. I want one too.
I'm selling these on my Etsy store.
Yeah, please. And we cut to the island where like Raul is dropping them off, and he like salutes the boys. He says, "May you two survive." And like Sei also does like a very stiff military salute to that.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. I've been watching Mobile Suit Gundam on and off, and I love how at the end of like every PV it says, "Will you be able to survive?"
The Zeta Gundam does it even better, in that at the end of all those, it's you will see the tears of time.
Oh, that's good.
It's so fucking choice. Zeta's on Gundam Info on YouTube. No one has any reason not to watch it now. It's stupidly good.
Yeah, as General Ironica's pointed out, especially the Earth episodes.
Yeah. God, when Zeta hits, it hits harder than, like, I think any other Gundam show that I've seen, at least. It's so cool. The designs are so cool. Jared Mesa is literally my favorite Gundam character. Can't go wrong.
My favorite Gundam character that gets thrown off a mountain.
He gets judo thrown off Mount Kilimanjaro, and it's pivotal to his character development. And that's not what fucking... He doesn't die from that, because he's my favorite little boy.
Mm-hmm.
So they're in their dorm rooms, and Sei is getting dressed in like a formal suit because they have to attend this kind of like banquet reception dinner. Reiji says fuck that and sneaks out the window, so Sei has to go all by himself. And he is so out of his depth here. Like, there's no chaperones or anything. He shows up and like Mao comes and says hi to him. Mao is wearing like an all red suit with his same like yellow bucket hat. He looks like a movie usher.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad he kept the hat, and also I love realizing that Sei has never actually met Riccardo Fellini in person.
Yes, that bit's so funny. Like, you know, we see a bunch of characters that we'll meet later. Like, they make a lot of mention of Luang Dallara because he's going to be like an opponent in the next set of episodes. And we see Fellini, the Italian dandy, and yeah, like Fellini knows Sei because he spars so much with Reiji, and he like kind of knows Mao because he kind of knows Mao's master. And then Kirara shows up.
It threw me off a bit too, because like, oh shit, that's right. Sei never met Fellini.
Yeah, it's like a 6 degrees type situation, and like I guess Reiji literally never mentioned it. Like he's like, oh, I'm training with some strong guy, not I'm training with the strongest gunpla fighter in Italy. But Fellini sees Kirara and he starts immediately putting the moves on her. He is so charming. He like walks off with his hand around her shoulder. Like, this guy, no way. We see also, like, or, you know, somewhere else in there, we see Isla's handler, and of course she is not in her room. And then my notes are, I wonder if she'll show up with Reiji. And then cut to, Isla shows up with Reiji.
Mm-hmm. They're having a little fight over meat buns.
Better be a goddamn good meat bun for doing all this trouble.
Meat buns can be good.
They can be damn good. I helped some of my wife's friends move into their apartment a couple weeks ago in Baltimore, and we got food from this place called Ekiben, which was it was Ethiopian something fusion. It was crazy. It was like a lot of different things, but it was basically like a fried chicken sandwich with this really good like cilantro hot sauce, and the bread was bao bun. Like, it was a lot of different things all at once. And whenever I think of meat buns, I just think of that really good bao chicken spicy sandwich. It was damn good. But anyway, yeah, like Reiji is trying to buy all of these. Like Raoul gave him a list of all the foods he needs to try, and of course they're all being sold out. And he goes to the meat bun place, and Isla takes the last one when like fireworks distract them both. And we do cut a little bit. Back to the banquet where Ricardo is drunk as fuck. Like, this guy, he is hammered and he's like gushing to Kirara about the 8th MST bonus video. It's so funny. I love this bit. Fellini rules.
Finally a man after my own heart.
Yeah. Mao is just like, Mao and Sei are watching and they're both like, I'm disillusioned now. This guy's not cool at all. Honestly, though, I mean, like, gushing about Gunpla, yeah, relatable, I guess. And back in the B plot, Reiji's like chasing Isla around. She does like some crazy parkour shit to run off with the bun, and like Reiji's just like, how the fuck did she do that? Like, she like jumps off like the balcony and like lands on an escalator and like does like this wild like spin around a supporting pillar. And she's at like the water's edge later, and she's about to enjoy her meat bun. Then like Reiji grabs her wrist. And in the struggle, the bao bun, it bounces off the ledge and lands in the water, and it's the saddest thing I've ever seen in Gundam. I wanted that bun. It must be a really goddamn good meat bun.
The most tragic thing in all of Gundam history.
Yeah, no, nothing sadder. Ramba Rao's death, fucking, cannot relate.
Oh, he's alive now.
Yeah, exactly, he's alive. Yeah, he got better.
He got isekai, remember?
He got better. A world with infinite meat buns. And she eventually, her handler's car pulls up, and she just like silently runs off. And her handler's like, "Who the fuck was that?" And she's like, "I have no earthly idea." And then Reiji comes back to the hotel room, and Seiya's really, really pissed. And Reiji's like, not even giving Sei some Oden stew can make this right. Very sad. If I was mad at someone and they walked up and handed me a big thing of Oden stew, I'd be, you know what? We're square. I will eat this happily. And then we cut to the next day. It's the day of the tournament, and we see Ricardo, who is dreadfully hungover. And I'm honestly kind of surprised they put this in the show. Like, it's a much more children's Gunpla show, or Gundam show. But, like, having a character, like, be drunk and hungover for, like, half of the entire episode is a little surprising that they were allowed to do that, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at least, like, he's a fun drunk.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's not lecherous, which I was really, 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 really worried about.
Yeah,
he is lecherous as a personality type, but not in that scene.
No, yeah. when he's drunk, the true personality gets brought out, and he's a complete nerd.
Yeah. It's better this way.
He's just talking about how good the animation was on an OVA.
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen Gundam OVAs?
They put the money in it. We see a 4-way fight. So the first round is like 4-way fights, and then like the winner gets the 4 points if you defeat everyone. So we see a Jin, a Cobra Gundam from G Gundam, some sort of cool Gelgu with like this like interesting flight skirt attached to it, and I think a Burga Gyros. And
yeah, I think that was the one that reminded me a bit of Hello Zeong. Honestly, I think that was it.
Yeah, a little bit. And the winner is the guy piloting this Gelgoog, who is Rainer Somar. I guess it would just be Somar. Anyway, Rainer Somar, he is the German representative. His Gundam doesn't have anything ninja-y about it, unfortunately, so G Gundam lied to me as usual. But he wins, he gets 4 points, and he moves on. We see Luong Dalara winning his match in his Abba Gorbine, which just has a whole fucking mess of missiles. This thing rules. That is the loudest this train has ever been, my goodness. That was like a fucking blip on my waveform, and it's still going. It's like it knows every time I record. The next is the 7th match. It's Isla's turn to do her thing, and she's kind of she's floating there in her Cublé. We see the O, which is like my second favorite Zeta suit, and I like hooted and hollered and clapped like a train seal on the scene when that giant yellow corn chip showed up on screen. I don't even care who the other 2 suits are. Didn't even write them down because I just like kind of blacked out whenever I saw the O. And no one cares for this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're instantly destroyed.
Yeah. So the whole thing with the Cublé, as many know, is it has funnels, and it's kind of like the first mobile suit to have like not bits or incomes, but like straight up like what becomes the understood concept of funnels in Gundam. Mm-hmm. And she very clearly fires off funnels, but you can't see them. Interestingly enough, and like she like wins literally without even moving. So something's up, but she does it.
It's that Dragon Ball Z joke of moving too fast that the audience can't see it.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And she does win.
Also, a fun fact: I have an SD of the Cublé. I need to go high grade of it. The SD also has little fin funnels. Shockingly enough.
I also have that SD, and yeah, the sculpt on the tail is like very, very detailed for what it is.
Yeah, like it really needs the stickers because it's almost like completely white, but it is a very nice little SD kit.
Yeah, the Cublé is like one of the best. Like it is just an unbeatable design in my eyes. It's so funky. I don't really like the head that the Cublé Papillon has. Like, I think the original Cublé's weird, like, xenomorph-looking head was a lot more cool to me.
Yeah.
I'll take what I can get, though, because the color scheme is also pretty good. Again, not as simple as that nice white and pink, but still, Cublé Papillon is good, in my eyes. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to Sei and Reiji's match, which they're next. They arrive 10 seconds before the match begins, and I guess they were either working on it or training, or more likely they just like fell asleep and forgot to set an alarm. So they make it just in time, and they set the Star Build Strike, which looks exactly like the Build Strike did.
Mm-hmm. It looks the same, but it's different. Quote,
Yeah.
one Mao.
Yeah, he knows. He can tell. We see a Zaku F2000, which I was kind of excited about because like that was the one that premiered in the original Gunpla show. But it's like painted green and yellow, I think, instead of purple.
Yeah.
It's really fun seeing like they're like there's going to be a lot of Zaku, so they're putting on all the variations.
Yeah. It fires a complete truckload of missiles, and they destroy some Seed Gundam. It's like either Blitz or Buster or Calamity. I really couldn't tell because it was a different color scheme, and it was like dark and they're in space. It fires at them, and the shield like diffuses or absorbs the beam like entirely. It's as if like they didn't even get hit at all. So that's a very interesting little artifact they have.
I'm looking up the wiki. It says Dual Gundam.
Interesting.
That looks because that's a Seed Gundam.
I just want to say, I'm looking at the AMX-004 Q-Blade for the first time. And
do you like it?
Spiritually, it reminds me of Frieza and Mewtwo.
Yes, absolutely. It very much is.
The very sleek shapes.
Weird,
but
weird
also very
psychic
bulky
freak.
at the same time.
It's those shoulders. Those shoulders do so much. Like the shoulders and the gigantic, like pointed toes do so much for the silhouette of it.
Yeah.
Oh god, I love the Q-Blade so much. And we also see a shout out to me loving Double Zeta. We see a Gamalk, which is like one of the last things you ever see in Double Zeta, just completely loaded with funnels and beams and all sorts of machinery, and it's just like blasting them. And again, they're just kind of like absorbing it with that shield somehow. And the star build it is ready and fully charged, so all of the kind of blue bits start to glow a transparent red. It gets wings of light, which is pretty notable, I'd say. And it gets these kind of, it's like hard to explain. It's like 4 3-pointed diamond looking things that kind of like hover. It like looks a little bit like a halo of some sort, kind of like flying behind it. And as it flies, it's just like blasting out Plavsky particles and like destroying everything that it just flies by. It's very, very, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it'll get explained later on, but again, this is just a really cool, like, striking kind of thing to show out of the blue. The fact that, like, the only thing that's really different from it from before is, like, it has, like, the new gun and it has a new shield. And then, like, it does this shit and I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. And apparently there's a kit that actually has these wings that, like, you can attach to it. And even has, like, the little, like, yellow plastic bits, too, which is pretty cool.
Unfortunately, I'm guessing it's a P-Bandai thing.
No, this is just a regular star build Plavsky wing. This is just a straight up normal thing you can buy. Wow, for $25. That's kind of astounding for like an old high grade that they don't make anymore. I'm impressed. Looks cool though. So anyway, they win, of course, and it's awesome, and everyone's flipping the hell out, and they're really, really excited, and then we get the credits. I've noticed this show really goes ham on the post-credit scenes, because, like, I think it was the second episode. The credits roll so early, and I was like, wait, what the hell? And, like, there's, like, a solid 3 minutes of footage after the credits roll.
Yeah.
It's like I'm watching a fucking Marvel movie.
Yeah.
But, you know, Mal congratulates him on the win, and Fellini's like, the final match. We're going to see what PPSC is going to bring to the table here. And we hear that telltale Spanish guitar, and then we see Meishin Kawaguchi is the pilot of PPSC, but Sei and Reiji, of course, are like, hang on, that's our good friend Tatsuya Yuuki who disappeared. What's going on? And that's episode.
Yeah.
I liked it. It's good. It's good setup. It's good kind of like, you know, setting the stakes for what's going to be happening next. Next one gets even better, I think.
Yeah, it was a nice blend of setting the stage for the World Tournament and then a whole lot of action.
Yes, and we're getting even more with episode 11, Battle Royale, like from fucking Fortnite. The legend is revived. The third Meijin, Kawaguchi, takes to the battlefield and soundly defeats his opponent in the comp for amazing. Despite wearing such a foolproof disguise as wraparound shades, Sei and Reiji still recognize him as Tatsuya Yuuki. They chase him down after his match and confirm that it is indeed Yuuki when he shows the boys his face, although he claims to never have been Yuuki. He is only Meijin Kawaguchi. After another night where Reiji awkwardly meets up with Ayla, once again trying to escape from her handlers, everyone gathers for the next round of the tournament, a battle royale where the entire planet is the battlefield. Dolores Abagorbine immediately attacks Reiji and Mao, and retreats after he figures out the secret of the Star Build Strike's shield. Down on Earth, Fellini faces the German competitor Sommer piloting a massive Gao bomber, carrying several competitors, all angling to defeat Fellini for stealing their girlfriends in the past. As the battle rages on, we finally see the chairman of PPSC Works, some schmuck named Mashita, who is shocked to realize Reiji is taking part in this competition since he somehow knows Reiji's from another world. Finally, Mao and Reiji arrive to help Fellini take down the Gao, but after it crashes, a monolithic Zaku rises from the flames. Oh, this episode kicked ass.
Yes.
This is so good. This show rips. Like, there's a lot in play here. First of all, the fact that, yes, different size Gunpla scan in with their respective size in the world is just, like, absolutely delightful to me.
And answer his question, what about different size, like, different grades? And the answer is that it's kind of, like, they exist in, well, we've already seen they do exist in, like, a family store and stuff, but to see that in what happens in action...
Right, yeah. And you have someone scanning in a master grade F91 and someone scanning in a high grade Suzabi. Like, you won't be able to tell which is which. One of those is real small, one of those is real big.
Just imagine the unfair advantage you have with a Verka.
Right? It's all of the little like red etching decals give you such a tactical edge. I want to imagine someone scanning in like a clear color suit, or like if you shell out for shell out an extra $50 for the P Bandai titanium finish, if you have like a more resilient product in the end. Mm-hmm. It's very clearly becoming pay to win. Very sad.
Gaming has caught up to Gunpla.
Oh no. We get the kind of backstory that I believe I mentioned last week with like who the real life Meijin Kawaguchi actually is. And apparently the backstory is kind of the same in the show, where it was a name given to a man who was a god at building Gundam, a veritable master, which is why he got the title Meijin. Of course,
wait, Meijin Kawaguchi's a real thing?
Yeah, so hold on, let me find it. So I might not have said it last week. Anyway, there's a guy named Katsumi Kawaguchi who is the director of promotion marketing of Gundam. Yeah,
right.
Yep.
And his nickname is Meijin because he's just...
I thought you meant like the title was real.
Oh, no. No, it's like the title's based on the real guy's like nickname, which I guess kind of became his title too. It's cool. We get more just awesome Spanish guitar. I love it. We get the full reveal of the comp for Amazing. It's nice. It's nice and tactical. I really like the navy and like the little bit of white color scheme on it. He's fighting an F91 that I want to say is Titans colored, because it's again that like dark blue and yellow, which I love. Some variant of Jim. It might be the Cold District's Jim, but I might also be thinking that because they're fighting in like an ice field. Some grunt suit from 00, and just untouchable. Kawaguchi wins like by a landslide here. Just obliterates everything else. Mm-hmm. I really like Alan after that match. He says, Masani perfect! But like, he enunciates perfect, like almost like exactly how like someone speaking English would say it. Like usually they would just say like perfecto or something, but like it completely threw me off. Just like Masani perfect. It was funny. I like Alan. He's
like
he's
a fighting
fun
game
character.
announcer. Just
yeah,
perfect. Sei and Reiji like haul ass to go find Yuki to find out if he really is Yuki, because he's going by Kawaguchi now. Despite knowing like everything about Yuki's life, he says shit like, I was never the president of the modeling club and class president. I was never Tatsuya Yuuki. I'm not him. And they're like, wow, you sure know a lot about him for a guy who claims not to be him.
And I've never betrayed anyone in my life.
Yeah. He takes his glasses off and shows them Tatsuya Yuki's face, and Sei is like, yeah, that's him, all right. And Reiji has a shocked expression. This guy is so dramatic. I really love how he's just kind of like edgelord Joker now. He's cool.
Great.
It's the wraparound Shays. He went Quattro mode. Of course, Sei knows that like he's gonna have a tough fight up ahead now that PPSC is backing Kawaguchi. And again, like he explains to Reiji what Meijin is half a century ago, the legendary gunpla builder showed up, his works made by the hand of God. So I guess Yuki is like the third person to get the Meijin title. I don't know who the two ahead of him were, but Ramba Raw we see in like this tiny little off scene apparently like knows about this too, and he says something about like it's destiny that the boys will face each other. So I'm gonna imagine this comes up again about like what the whole deal with Meijin is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't talk about the Meishin Kawaguchi hanging on the wall in the first act if you don't plan to take him off in the third. Let's see. We get a little scene where Alan tries to give Kawaguchi like upcoming info about the battle royale, and he's like, "No, I don't need any advantage. Just like sheer victory alone is what I strive for." He tells Alan he doesn't really know why he revealed his face to Sei and Reiji, but after Alan leaves, he takes his trench coat off and the glasses, and he's like, "Oh, it's tiring acting like the Meijin, but I needed to show those boys my determination." Still don't really know what the hell his whole deal is, but he's cool, he's fun. As long as he's here,
Mystery.
I'm happy. Yeah. Let's see. Sei calls in China. A nice little scene where he's just happy that he gets to fight Kawaguchi. He's like, "Oh, I can finally like have my gunpla pushed to its limit." He's a nice boy.
Yeah. Reiji runs into Isla again, and she's like hiding in the bushes. She's like watching some men. I think that's her security team looking for her.
Yeah, it's her handler. She's sneaking out. It's like a president's daughter type situation.
Right. Reiji's like, "Oh, what a nice smell," but it's actually just she's got some meat buns and he's taking one from her.
Right, like it's like right behind her as he says, "What a pleasant smell." And he just takes the bun and like throws money at her that's like enough to buy 4 meat buns, and she's like, "This is too much change." But we just kind of immediately cut from that to the battle royale. They talk about how big the stage is, which is just basically like all of Earth. Like it actually is Earth. You see the countries and everything. Seems a little bit large, but what do I know?
Maybe it's just like, I don't know, the crew, and it's just like a very condensed version of Earth.
Shit. Fuck, Dan, that would be such a good game. The crew, but your Gundams, and you could just go to space or go back to Earth and just fight shit. God, the crew is such a... Well, I almost said it was a good game. It's not really a good game, but it's a fun game. And sometimes a fun game doesn't need to be good for it to be fun.
Right.
And we begin the fight. Mao immediately rolls up next to Reiji and is like, "Hey, we're buddies. Like, let's, protect each other now so we can fight later." Because only the top third will make it through. Like, the stage kind of ends when only 1/3 of the players are surviving. There's no circle closing in on them, but, it's just by elimination. The Abigorbine shows up. It, like, fires out 2 beam sabers, and it, like, slaps them together to form, like, a really cool beam naginata. Or, I'm sorry, it's a scythe. It's not a naginata. It is a beam scythe. It is radical as hell. I love this thing so much.
This fucking swirling scythe. I love the Abigorne.
It's just a big purple bug. This is like a purple Pikmin on the loose. Watch out. And he's kind of beating Reiji's ass a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah,
a
little bit. He figures out the weak point of the shield pretty quickly when he like fires a beam at it and shoots missiles at the same time. I guess he realizes, it's really good for beams, but like physical attacks just kind of like dent it and break it. So that's probably going to be bad when they have to fight a mobile suit that really doesn't use beams. That I think is going to happen next time. We'll see. So Delara backs off, and we kind of pan down to Earth. We see a Dynamis sniping an Ares, and there's a blue frame there too. And Kawaguchi gets surrounded by a trio of Dom troopers, not Doms, but I think they're the troopers from Seed. So it's like even worse than the Black Tri-Stars. But he kicks ass. Like he pulls out like rapid fire beam rifles and just like it's like some Matrix type shit. It's like a fucking shootout.
Yeah, he goes fucking guns akimbo and just like guns like all 3 of them at once.
It's so rad.
That gave me a bit of Strike Noir feel with it.
Little bit, yeah.
Which is a thumbs up in my book. I like the Strike Noir.
I really like what I always think of from Iron Blooded Orphans is the Vidar, how it has like 2 beam pistols like in its front skirt armor it can take out and just start blasting. So we kind of like pan back into space after that. We see Isla, who once again just like completely nukes all of her opponents with invisible funnels. Like it even takes out, there's like a Endless Waltz heavy arms firing at her, and like the funnels can shoot down like all of the bullets it's shooting at her, and it gets destroyed too.
Yeah, that was like not the Endless Waltz heavy arms, but like because that was that one had like the mask and stuff. This was like the
This
weird...
it's the OVA Endless Waltz Heavy Arms, not the manga Endless Waltz Heavy Arms. God, Wing is so fucking confusing.
Yeah, because I was just like, it's got the Master Grade kit that's Endless Waltz, but it's not the one that shows up in the OVA.
Right, yeah, no, it's the blue Heavy Arms, not the red Heavy Arms. The one with like double twin beam Gatlings, or just regular Gatlings. A little bit overpowered, I guess. Instead, that doesn't matter.
Toki, I love your designs, but it's so confusing with the Wing Gundam stuff.
Yeah, Wing. It took me, like, we covered Wing on the show a while back, and it still took me, like, about that entire series runtime to figure out, like, all of the different versions of all the wingsuits, because there's, like, 4 or 5 for each.
And there's, like, 5 different kinds of Gunpla for each version, too.
Yeah, God, it's a lot. It's a lot.
There's a fucking version of Toki of the Wing Gundam Zero Endless Waltz.
You need a little bit more modifiers on that name. Oh, God.
It's Endless Waltz is already...
We at Bandai are announcing our newest line of Gunpla, the Verkas. We see Nils. He's hiding. He's just chilling. Like, he's like, why even do anything? I'm just gonna like hide and survive until a third people remain. And honestly, that's Nils. That's why they introduced the fucking closing circle. So you can't just sit there and hide the whole time. Nils, don't be a camper.
He's being Rambo, like the first movie Rambo. He's hiding.
Right, yeah.
Surviving.
He's being early
anyone
Rambo.
that gets in his way. Well,
yeah, I love he just throwing his entire katana into the head of a mobile suit is radical. I love Nils. And then we cut to like this big desert field. Mm-hmm. Look, they gave the Wing Gundam Fenice a little fucking like unicycle to ride. This thing kicks ass.
Yeah.
I know they sold this thing separately too, which is like really goddamn funny to me. Like, I'm sorry, it is the Meteor Hopper. It's like it is a unicycle. It has one big wheel, and he kind of like rides it like it's not riding like a moped or anything like that, because like the legs are back. You're kind of like laying down frontways on it. So it's like you're riding it like a sport bike, but it's just a unicycle, and it is the funniest fucking thing. As we just like cut to Fellini like bumping across the field in this stupid little thing. Mm-hmm. I love him. He's so cool.
But this is like interrupted when he sees like a GA troop carrier.
Yes, this is so wild to me. I guess like if it's look. So is the Gao troop carrier? It's like the thing from 0079. Like it's old. It's from the original Gundam series. Is the German guy just piloting that instead of a Gunpla? Is that allowed?
I guess.
It sounds like it, because like Ricardo makes a comment about, wow, it must have taken you a long time to build that.
Right. He's trying to like, I guess, do a reverse Garma, because he even at one point says, blame this on your own policy. As he opens the Gao up. Yeah!
Okay.
I love this show. This is such a fucking stupid show. He opens the Gao up and reveals like 6 or 7 Gunpla, who are all competitors, who are all out for blood for Fellini, because like I guess Fellini stole all of those guys' girlfriends, and they want him dead for it.
I do appreciate him saying that his policy is that he welcomes anyone that comes to him. And so it's like, yeah, any gender it too.
Yeah, bisexual Ricardo Fellini confirmed.
Yeah.
So, and I think, strikingly enough, I think every single one of the Gundams in here are all from the 90s. Like, there's something from X, and there's something from Wing, and there's something from F91. It's like all 90s stuff, funny enough, but a
lot of people our age would, in fact, be more into the 90s Gundams. That would make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an 80s Gundam type guy. If we're ranking them all by like decade, I think the 90s they got a little bit too like head and chest jewelry for my tastes.
Only 90s Gunpla fans remember. Any
Gunpla fan born after 1993 knows eat Gunpla runners and lie. Mm-hmm. As he's getting surrounded and attacked, Reiji comes in and starts helping shoot him down. And we see the chairman, Chairman Mashita of PPSC. This guy, he doesn't really seem all there. He's very like unconcerned and just kind of like bumbles around and doesn't really like know or care about Gunpla itself. But he's here to watch Kawaguchi fight because, you know, of course, Kawaguchi's his head fighter. And he sees Reiji and drops his wine and it like comedy spills right into his crotch. And this guy knows Reiji's from a different world. The plot thickens a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm intrigued. At first, I thought he was meant to be Temrei, Amuro's dad, because he has like a similar hair and a similar gaunt face, but he doesn't have the glasses. And I guess the wiki doesn't say, so if the wiki doesn't say, it can't be true. But yeah, so this dude knows Reiji's from a different world, so maybe he's from a different world too. Because what the fuck? What's this dude's deal? Mashita,
would explain why he has Plavsky particles or whatever.
Right? Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if like since he's the head of PPSC and discovered Plavsky particles, if Plavsky particles aren't like just a thing he took from Arion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but that's the credit scene, and then again we get like 3 minutes of footage after that.
Yeah.
Reiji is stuck fighting this like dragon Ultron. It's like a Ultron with like this yellow and green color scheme. It's kind of like the Dragon Gundam from G. We see Fellaini gets like tied up by some other suit from X, I think, and he's like about to be crushed by Zomer, who's just basically gonna ram the Gao into him. When a big ass shot rocks from out of frame and it crashes the Gao, and we see that Mao shot the Gao. A little tongue twister for you, but in the flames of the wreckage of the Gao, the ground starts to quake, and we see a fucking ginormous Zaku walk out of it.
Yeah, it fucking rules.
Oh my god, this is so cool. I love it. It's animated so well, and we'll talk more when we talk about the episode itself. I love that it's slow and lumbering, and it is like, you know, moving as if something that big has to move so much slower. It's radical. More mega-sized Gunpla, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the episode. So, Yuria, I believe you have the summary for episode 12.
Yep. We have episode 12. Discharge. The mega-sized Zaku has entered the field, but its sights are set specifically on the Star-Built Strike Gundam. Chairman Mashita fully authorized this, and in the meantime has also been asking about Reggie, confirming that yes, he does know that Reggie's not really from this world. During the battle, Mao and Ricardo join in to help suppress the Zaku's overwhelming artillery and distract the massive Zaku long enough to let the Star-Built Strike unleash its ultimate weapon. While it's charging up, it tries to fight back. However, with the help of the Sengoku Astray, who just keeps throwing its swords, and a distant sniper shot that's later revealed to be from the camp for Amazing, the Star-Built Strike uses the discharge from its rifle to completely destroy this massive Zaku, and at the same time, the match then ends, with the required remaining fighters. After the fight, Meiji confronts the chairman about the wild Zaku and gives him the old twisty arm to tell him to never interfere with the fight again. Later on, he confirms that he did fire off the shot because he feels that, as Meiji, he should be defeating others at their peak, not when the Gundams are already damaged. Meiji goes out for a snack run, and Ava throws him some meat buns to pay back for the absurd amount of money he left for taking hers, but then just complains about being cold. When 3 goons come out and provoke him, and they get into a fight. Post-credits scene ends with Reggie holding his arm, even though he successfully implied to beat the crap out of those 3 because he's just that good at fighting. He's holding his arm because it looks like he has taken an injury in the process.
He just fought so good that he got hurt in the process. You know, just like, he's just smacking wrists.
Yeah, he's just kind of kneeling down, holding his arm. He doesn't even look battered otherwise.
No, I know. It's like it's giving fucking like sports movie to me, where everything's going good until, oh no, the hero got injured. How can they play on this? But since this show's not even like halfway done, I think he'll probably end up being fine. But this one starts out with, again, another absolutely delightful Gundam reference where Ramba Ral is running through the empty lobby as the match has already started, and he forgot to set an alarm, and he just thinks to himself, in the middle of a fight, Ral forgot to fight. He said the line! He said the line! He didn't even change it. Like, it's barely even relevant to what he just said. God, I love him, though.
He's having flashbacks to his previous life.
Oh no, Ral, don't think about it. the giant Zaku is continuing to wreak havoc. The PPSE president loves this. It's an auto-controlled Gunpla sent in by the company. The president's assistant tells him that Reiji is the pilot of the Star Build Strike. And again, he knows Reiji is from Arion, so he kind of like has the mega-sized Zaku go after him. Because it does get revealed, it is a 1/48 scale mega-sized Zaku 2, and it just starts blasting.
Mm-hmm.
This would be a wild thing to build. That would be like 2 feet tall. If that. No, probably more than that. God.
The mega size, shit. I actually had the measurements down for this, because...
If it's 1/48, if the Zaku 2 is 17.5 meters tall, right? Because the Gundam's 18 meters tall. Or maybe it's 18.5 and the Gundam's 8. The point is, okay, I'm just going to assume 18 meters 2 feet, which is 59.05 feet. 59.05 divided by 48 is 1.23 feet. I think I did that right. So it's like a foot 3 inches tall. Goddamn. That's a biggin. Large and in charge, but it's kicking ass. Things are not going well. They can't even damage this thing. Kawaguchi is like really, really pissed about this random thing showing up and ruining the sanctity of the fight. And Alan goes to tell the chairman that, but the chairman's like, no, it just makes it more fun. Leave it be. We're getting good TV ratings. He just wanted to make things extravagant and spice things up. It's like when they do a Fortnite event and the First Order shows up and tells you Palpatine's alive. It's just like that.
Yeah, we're going to get critical Gundam lore for the TV shows in this Gunpla battle. And there's going to be a new UC anime, and they're going to miss out on some critical lore.
Yeah, God, you gotta watch it. Everyone kind of sees this and kind of hides away. Like we see the Argentinian twins. They see the Zaku and they kind of like slink back underwater. They have a really cool Zaku colored Hygog. The Zaku goes after Reiji, of course, like no one else. The chairman's just like clapping and cheering for it. And like at one point he asks his assistant, hey, what's that thing called? And she's like, oh, that is the MSO2 F Zaku 2. And he's like, go Zaku, go. This guy's he's a bit silly, I'd say. A bit silly with it. Of course, Reiji and Sei like briefly consider retreating, but Sei's like, do you really want to retreat? And Reiji's like, fuck no. And Sei's like, all right, let's take this thing down. So they try and fight it. Doesn't do that great at first. Like Nils is watching from afar, and he thinks that it's futile to fight. And he compares them attacking the Zaku to Don Quixote attacking the windmill. But it's not just a windmill that Don Quixote is attacking in this little art. He's attacking a Nether Gundam. This is the most amazing thing I've seen in my entire life.
This is the Holland one, right?
Yeah, the Gundam that Holland always gets to the Gunpla or the Gundam Championship finals because they just hide. They just don't fight until it's time for the finals to begin. But they never win because they can't fucking fight because they're a big-ass windmill.
Tragic.
G Gundam's so good.
And as we found out, there's not really any Gunpla of the Nether Gundam either.
I know. Everyone wants it like as a joke. And like, it probably wouldn't be that fun of a build if you're just building a windmill mostly.
Look,
I still want it.
I've built the real great Zaku. Nothing can be worse than that.
Yeah. I want it to come with like real cloth inserts so I can like tie it to the windmill and have it function.
Yeah, as long as the windmill can spin, then it will be a top seller.
Exactly.
And it can cost as much as the Nightingale high grade. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I did get that high grade, and it is my crown jewel. I would put as much love into the windmill Gundam as I could. The Zaku tosses a cracker grenade at the boys, and of course, since it is mega size, it's just like this massive bomb that blows up right in their face, and they faceplant after getting hit with it, and they're about to get hit with another, but then Fellini and Mao shoot it down and save the day. And the gang, they end up like all kind of flying up, and they're like aiming at the head and just nonstop firing on it. And then it kind of like it's like glowing red, and it kind of like swells and bubbles and like explodes and looks kind of gruesome. Actually, I was very put off by how they animate it because it's just like it's kind of nasty a little bit. But it blows the head up. It's still going because, why wouldn't it? Sei tells Reiji to discharge, and he kind of like twists the control knobs and activates another one of those kind of like Plavsky powers that they have. In this, what it does, the kind of yellow diamonds fly out and they turn red, and they form a kind of like window for Reiji to shoot into. So he's just like, he's hanging out, he's charging up. We see the lights kind of sequentially turn on his beam rifle, and the Zaku's, of course, is firing on him because he's just standing still in the sky. So Fellini comes in with a beam cape to like disperse some of its fire. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. This is the coolest a Wing Gundam has ever been, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
you can't have a fucking side cape and not have it be so cool.
It rules.
It's so good.
And is this around the point where he like the big Zaku like fires some shoulder missiles at them, or not shoulder missiles, ankle missiles, and they get like interrupted by Niels throwing a katana through them.
Yes. So across the map.
Yeah, from across the map.
He's like, a sword wielder can use melee, or a sword wielder can use ranged attacks once.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's got 2 swords, so twice. 2
swords. This is when the ending starts to play, and I'm like hooting and hollering because whenever any of those insert songs hit, they hit so hard. Zaku's like leveling the bazooka at the boys charging, but a beam comes out from nowhere, kind of takes out its stability, so it stumbles a bit. And then Reiji fires his beam into that particle field, and what it does is it turns that one single beam shot into just like this complete barrage of like Gatling sprays, and they're all like beams, and it's just like lighting the Zaku up. It starts to glow, and it like once again bubbles and pops and explodes in a pretty gruesome manner, and everyone hoots and hollers and cheers and saying Reiji high five, and like, this is our Gunpla's power.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the end of the episode.
Also, we need to fix the shield.
Yeah, things ain't good. The battle royale's at the final third, though, so thankfully the match ends. And then we do see Sei and Mao talking, and they're like, "Oh, I have a spare shield. Oh, I have a spare satellite cannon. Oh, Ricardo has spare parts too. We're all gonna be fine." It's not worried at all, but Ral is very suspicious about all this because why would a mega-sized Zaku just show up out of nowhere in the first place, and why did it only go after Sei and Reiji? And later we see Nils, who goes to talk with Fellini. Fellini thanks him for the help in the battle. He says, "Grazie, samurai boy." Just some fucking Chronos Dividici Yu-Gi-Oh! GX type phrases. But Nils just brushes him off, saying, I just all I did was prolong the battle because I want to be able to fight you at your full power. And he got to learn about what the Star Build Strike does. And he figures it out. It just disperses, or it doesn't disperse beams, it absorbs them and reforms them. So he kind of knows what to worry about because he's going to fight them next. And again, just don't use beams. It's problem solved.
Yeah.
Oh shit. His suit just uses swords. Uh-oh, it's not a good matchup.
Yeah. Then we see like what's his name? The guy in charge of PPSE, like Mashita. Mashita like looking up Reiji's like stats and stuff, and we get like this thing as he like sinks to himself and the screen warps as he's like worrying about the threat Reiji presents that we don't really know.
Yeah, presumably, I mean, the fact knowledge is power, and I guess just the existence of someone else from Arion is just going to throw a wrench into whatever plans he has. Mm-hmm. But he still wants his kid dead, so doesn't matter. So when Kawaguchi bursts in and he tells the chairman, he keeps on saying, "Please refrain from such selfish actions," as he's like gripping his wrist and like trying to break his damn arm off.
Yeah.
And after saying it for like the third or fourth time, Mashita relents and Kawaguchi just walks off. And then we get this really weird thing where like Mashita's writhing on the ground in pain. He calls his assistant over and he's like, "Make the pain fly away." And she sings this kind of like nursery rhyme children's song as she rubs his wrist. And then he's like, "Oh, the pain flew away. Thank you so much." This is weird. Why is he like, what?
I don't know. I guess it's just to prove he's a silly old man who acts like a 5-year-old. Or at least that's how he's trying to, at least that's how he tries to present himself. Or maybe it's genuine. It could be both.
He's funny. He's a funny, silly guy, though, to be sure.
Mhm.
We see Sei is really busy working on Star Build, and Reiji's like trying to kind of discreetly sneak out, and Sei's just like, "Oh, can you get me some snacks? I know you're gonna go out anyway." um, and he mentions that he like knows that Luong knows the shield secret. He knows other fighters probably know as well. They might have to use the third system. So we know Absorb, which is what they did in that first episode. We know Discharge, which is what they did in this one. So there is some third system, and we don't know what it is yet, but I'm sure it's gonna be really fucking cool.
Mhm.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Reiji is shopping. Isla tosses him a bag of cold meat buns to pay him back because of all the change he gave her, and he's like, "These are cold," and she's like, "I didn't know when you'd show up."
Right. Did we mention that Kawaguchi is like he was the one who fired that like mysterious like beam?
Oh, that's right. And again, he does the thing of the kind of tsundere, oh, I wasn't helping them. I just want to be able to fight them at their most powerful, and they can't get damaged in battle before that happens. Whatever, man. You know why you did it. You like the kids. They're good kids. And as Reiji and Isla are once again arguing, they kind of like, they almost drop the meat buns. They both grab at the same time, and like Isla blushes because she's right in front of Reiji's face, and these hoodlums show up, kind of like taunting the couple. He's like, "Oh, why are you being embarrassed? Don't do it outdoors." And she blushes even harder, and Reiji, and she like is ready to square up with them, right? Like one of the guys pulls out a fucking metal baseball bat, and Reiji's like, "No, I'm gonna square up too." I'm thinking there might be some kind of Reiji Isla subplot here.
Yeah.
But we get the credits, and we see Mashita's assistant afterwards ask him why he's so concerned with Reiji, and he kind of ignores her. And we learn that he had her specifically set Luong up as their first opponent in the next set of the tournament because, again, he knows that Luong knows the secret of that shield and can beat them. And Mashita's like, Reiji can't be the prince, but regardless, I have to get rid of him. And we kind of, as he's saying that, we see Reiji gripping his wrist after the battle. So he beat off a dude with a metal baseball bat, and all he got was like an ouchie on his wrist. But without a good wrist, how's he gonna pilot the fucking glowy knobs? This does not bode well. But that's the episode. It's kind of a interesting ending. But regardless, halfway through.
Halfway through.
I think since this is like my first time. Unicorn is only 8 episodes because again, there's like 7 OVAs and then the movie. But like, it's weird saying halfway through so early on because like every other series is like a roughly 50 episode deal. So it's nice that it's kind of a little more abbreviated, I guess, shorter and sweeter.
Don't Fighters Try is also like a couple thousand episodes, right? So
yeah, I think all of the build series are like around 25-ish. I guess, it's not like I guess that's why people don't really count them as like full Gundam series a lot of the time, because they're like, it's like the Gunpla shows. They're kind of in like a little bit different group, but I count it.
Yeah.
Because Gunpla is freedom.
Gunpla is freedom.
And also, what is also freedom is Beyond Toon World.
All right.
You're going to love this. Trust me. Beyond Toon World!
So I accidentally stumbled into a gold mine this time. Because I figured, we get to see a lot of cool stuff about Riccardo Fellini this week. Let's talk about him. Well, it turns out Riccardo Fellini's voice actor is number 7 in popularity on myanimelist.com. On behindthevoiceofactors.com, my favorite website. So we're talking today about Yuichi Nakamura, who is, again, absurdly successful and wildly popular right now. He was born February 20th, 1980 in Aji, Kagawa, Japan. The little blurb on Wikipedia cracked me up. He is characterized by his calm and clear voice and mainly plays roles ranging from teenage boys to men in their 30s. Great stuff, man. His first notable anime role is in a show from 2001 called Denno Bokenki Webdiver, as 3 characters, Griffin, Ligaon, and Rada, which, notable enough. He's been doing anime for like a little over 20 years now. In 2006, Black Lagoon, fucking wild show to remember. He was Agent Sugar in Meyer. Pretty early on in his career, he's another Gundam character. Because in 2007's Gundam 00, he plays Graham Aker. And I understand that's a main character. Or a very important character, at least, because I've heard that name a lot. In 2008's Macross Frontier, he plays Alto Sao Tome. In 2008, in Bleach, he played Tessera Lindo Cruz, which is just that is such a Tite Kubo ass name. In 2008 Street Fighter 4, he voiced Fei Long, who I could never get the hang of, but I tried. Because I was like, oh, this guy's like Bruce Lee, fuck yeah. I could never do it.
I sort of managed to. That was one of the only characters I could main in Street Fighter 4.
Hell yeah. I like Blanca a lot. Blanca was always fun to me. In 2008's different fighting game, BlazBlue Calamity Trigger, he played Hazama, and he's playing Hazama in like every BlazBlue since then. In the anime of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, he plays Greed, which is a really big, that's when I was like, oh shit, this guy's like big time. I'm showing my wife Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood for the first time, and it is, God, what a good show that is. She's like very much offline, so when we got to the 4th episode with the, everyone knows it, she didn't know what that was, and she got genuinely mad at me. And I had to be like, Katie, it's fine. Like the show doesn't get that bad again. So she's a little distrustful, but we're back into it. It's good. It's fine.
Very fair, though. Very fair.
Oh, yeah, that's the fucking horrifying thing to. I do feel a little bad for making her watch it without worrying her a little bit, but like, everyone went through that back then. And all it's really making me do is wanting to watch 03 again, because that show was really good. Let's see. In 2009, once again, in Final Fantasy 13, a game that me and 10 other people like, he was Sid Reigns. In 2009, also an anime that I watched a lot of and completely fell off because I realized, oh, this kind of sucks. Fairy Tail, he voiced Gray Fullbuster. But God, I watched so much Fairy Tail. Let's see. In 2010... show of Durarara, he voiced Kyohei Kadota. In 2010, not award-winning, notable dogshit game Final Fantasy XIV, the regular one. He was apparently one of the male Hewer voices you could pick, which is kind of funny. In 2010, Gintama, he voiced Sakata Kintoki. In 2012, Initial D, 5th Stage, he voiced Rin Hojo. In the 2013 Pokemon anime, he voiced N. I love N. He's like one of the best Pokemon characters because he's actually a character. And his full name is Natural Harmonia Gropius. And people don't realize that enough. Let's see. In 2013, Log Horizon, he voiced William Massachusetts. Good-ass name. Here's one for the gamers. In award-winning video game Final Fantasy XIV A Realm Reborn, he voices, in the Japanese version, Thancred.
This is Thancred.
Riccardo Fellini is Thancred. In 2013, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle, and then later on in the Eyes of Heaven game, he voices Narciso Anasui. Diver Down. Of course, 2013 Gundam Build Fighters, he's Riccardo Fellini. In 2014 show of Haikyuu, he voices Tetsuro Kuro, who is he's not the ace of the Nekoma team, but he's the guy with the cool black hair. I like him a lot. Maybe he is the ace. Fuck, it's been a while since I read Haikyuu. In 2015's Great Ace Attorney, he voices none other than Kazuma Asogi. And obviously he voices Asogi in the other one too. 2015's One Punch Man, he was Moomin Rider, everyone's favorite bicycle hero who just gets his shit kicked in so hard all the time.
Love that guy.
He's great. He's so fun. 2015's Fire Emblem Fates, he voices Ryoma, aka the Lobster Man from Hoshido. Hey, speaking of Xenoblade X, that I don't remember if that was on the recording or not. In Xenoblade X 2015, he voices Gwyn, who's one of your party members. He did do a little bit of tokusatsu and live action shows, the most notable of which is he played Ultraman X in 2015's Ultraman X. In 2016's ReZero Starting Life in Another World, he was Reinhard van Astrea. He was Silat in the 2016 Weird 3D Berserk. In 2016 as well, Final Fantasy 15, a game me and 10 other people like, he voiced Rivus Nox Fleuret, who's he's a character, all right. I don't really think anything in that game is that good, but he's fun. 2016, Yakuza 6, and all the future Yakuza games, he's Jungi Han.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
He's great. 2016, Gundam Unicorn, ReZero096, he's Nigel Garrett. I want to say Nigel Garrett's one of, like, the regular Tri-Stars. The guys who are, like, kind of cool. Let's see. Yeah, he's one of the Tri-Stars, like the Londo Bell Tri-Stars, who's not quite as fun, as the Black Tri-Stars, but like they kind of grew on me because they just have swag. Also 2016 Gundam Thunderbolt, he voices the main character, E.O. Fleming, or one of two opposite main characters. And in 2017, a video game that I recently realized isn't that great, Xenoblade 2, he voices Malos, who's the main antagonist.
Uh-huh.
A very Tetsuya Nomura-ass design, if ever there was one. But he kind of like didn't do any belts for that game. He just kind of drew like really cool blades of armor instead. So they look fucking badass. As any modern voice actor does in 2018, he was Popoco in an episode of Pop Teen Epic.
Of course.
Yeah. And then we got some big hitters in 2018's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind. He was none other than everyone's favorite Zipper Man, Bruno Bucciolati. 2018 as well, another big year for him. Jujutsu Kaisen. He's Gojo. He's everyone's favorite blue-eyed beauty. In 2019 anime of Dr. Stone, he is Tsukasa Shishio, the strongest middle schooler, or whatever the fuck his title was. And most notably, most recently, I guess, in 2022, Spy Family, he voices Daybreak. And that is a good amount of Yuichi Nakamura's most notable roles. But again, this guy's been in fucking everything for like the last 20 years. So chances are, if you've seen it, he's been in it. So that's Beyond Toon World.
He's
Pretty big one this week.
An original Utsy. Yeah, I kind of noticed that because I played All-Star Battle, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the original like PS3 release. So it's like, and then I noticed that his different voice actor for the anime, and apparently he got the role now for All-Star Battle R.
Hell yeah!
I guess another reason to finally pick up All-Star Battle R, because
I really wanted to, because I never had a PS3. I played Eyes of Heaven a ton, but like those two games are completely different.
Yeah, it's a little more Dissidia.
I liked Dissidia. A lot of people didn't, but I feel like for me, I always get drawn into fighting games if I like know the roster well. Like if it's something like the fucking what is it? The Gundam EX versus Maxi Boost On. I was just like, oh hell yeah, I know Gundam. And it's like, I'm not that good at the game. I don't play it that much, but like it's fun when I do play it because I know the suits and everything. It's literally Wow Cool Robot. It's Wow Cool JoJo's.
That's why I want to play all the PS2 Gundam games, because it's like, damn, cool robots.
Yeah, God, let FromSoft do another Gundam game, please. They did the Unicorn game. They did I guess it might have been Japan only. It came out like halfway through the Unicorn's releases, so I think it only goes up to like the third or fourth episode of the OVAs, but like From Software, the makers of Dark Souls, developed a Gundam game, which is kind of a wild thing to say.
Yeah, there's also a Mystery Dungeon Gundam game that only came out on Japanese mobile devices, and it's in danger of being erased because nobody's been able to dump it.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's UC based, but it is a full-fledged Mystery Dungeon game.
That's so funny. I love the Mystery Dungeon games. I still hold that Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky is like the best Pokemon game ever released. It's just such a fun gameplay style.
One of my girlfriend's been playing through Sharon, and I want to get that on PC because it looks so fun.
Oh, I remember like an old Nintendo Power I read that had like Shiren the Wanderer, and I was like, what is this? Damn. You make another one, Bandai. Get FromSoft to make a Mystery Dungeon Gundam game. Mystery Gundam. Mystery Gundam. I'm going to rotate that in my head a little bit.
If it's like a mix of Mystery Dungeon and like how MS Saga plays with mixing parts, then I would fucking pre-order
Oh my god.
Just
like how when you're a ghost type Mystery Dungeon, you can pass through walls. If you die and you're a new type, you can pass through walls too. You can float around as a ghost.
Well, that would erase the whole thing of the SOS system, but
yeah, I'm coming.
Or
I'm just gonna go through this wall. Whoop!
Or make it extremely broken. Who knows?
Who knows? But that's what we got for today. Now is the time that we will go over our plugs. Where can we find us on the internet, Yuria?
I don't know how much longer Twitter is going to last, but I am Yuria at Twitter, and I'm on co-host at just Yuria. I've got no other plugs yet, but I've possibly got plans coming up, so we'll see next time.
Ooh, fun. Dan?
I'm Dan. You can find me at a lot of places. You can visit biggerchallenge.cart.co, and you can find my Twitter there. You can find my co-host there. You can find my Tumblr, which I'm using a lot more lately, and my art Tumblr, which I'm going to start using more because I recently decided to start a 30-day art challenge. You can listen to my other podcasts, which include Pod of Greed. Max is on it. We are making our way through season 4. We only have 6 episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX left to record episodes about. So that's exciting. 2023 we start we start 5Ds. You can listen to the Sonic Shuffle, a Sonic lore podcast. On the day of this recording, I got around to uploading episode 99, in which we talked about Knuckles Chaotix, as well as a couple other little classic games, little classic Sonic games. And coming up will be our 100th episode, in which we talked about the IDW series Bad Guys, because Devin is obsessed with Dr. Starline.
Entirely fair. Dr. Starline is pretty good.
He's a great character. You can listen to Video Games, the Movie, the Podcast, a video game movie review podcast I do with Maxie, or my friend Maxie, unrelated to Max. We, our most recent episode, we brought Emery on to talk about Pokemon the first movie, aka Mewtwo Strikes Back. And our next recording, which will be next week, we will be talking about the Professor Layton animated film, Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva.
Fuck yeah.
Last thing to plug, at Xbox_holiday, where Usher celebrates holidays with Xbox.
What we got coming up?
Well, yesterday I wrote Happy Gextra Life Xbox.
That's true.
I do not celebrate Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving sucks. There is one more November holiday coming up. Happy George H.W. Bush Death Day Xbox on November 30th, when he
hell yeah,
when he failed November and his balls exploded.
What a truly momentous occasion.
Yeah.
Also, congratulations on you got some pretty good reception on plugging Pot of Greed on Dexter Life yesterday.
Awesome. Yeah, that was great. That's it for me.
I actually did remember one plug.
Yeah.
Because speaking of Dexter Life, we got confirmation that a couple more weeks, and 6 Feet Under Mouse Guard campaign going to finish by the end of the year.
Awesome.
Yay!
So look forward to that in the next few weeks.
Hell yeah. And I'm Max. You can go to Twitter at MaxyBajillion to follow me. My Tumblr is also MaxyBajillion, because I've been using that a lot as well. My co-host is also MaxyBajillion, but I haven't set any of that shit up though, so it'll be like a blank profile or whatever the equivalent of it is. And as Dan mentioned, I'm on Pod of Greed. It's a really fun Yu-Gi-Oh show. 2023 year 5D's nuts. And you can listen to Slappers Only, a video game music showdown podcast. It's on hiatus, but there's a lot of fun episodes, and eventually we'll be able to do a full tournament of all those games. And if I don't get Chrono Trigger on that list by then, I'll be really sad. And that's it, I think. Oh yeah, and thank you, of course, to Noisepace.xyz for hosting this show. You can go there. You can listen to many shows, including this one, which is on Twitter at WowCool Podcast. Join our Discord. Let's see. Yuria, your robot of the week was last week, right?
Yeah, I did last week.
I think it's my turn for robot of the week.
It is your turn. Dan, what is the robot of the week?
Well, knowing that I can pick a Gundam robot or just about any robot.
You can pick literally anything.
I think, well, I'm looking at my Steam games and I've got Fallout New Vegas open. So I'm gonna go with an underrated New Vegas robot, Prim Slim. Prim Slim is a tour guide for the ruins of the Vicky and Vance Casino.
Mm-hmm.
He gives all sorts of. He's a cowboy robot. He wears a little hat and a pair of boots.
I love his little hat. And he had the boot. I forgot about the fucking boots on this guy.
Yeah. He's secretly one of the most powerful NPCs in the video game. And if you depending on how you choose to play out the quest, how you choose to play out the quest for Prim, you can make him the sheriff of Prim after the old one died off screen.
God, Prim Slim's fun.
Yeah.
More robots should wear cool boots and a funny hat.
Mm-hmm.
I literally just reinstalled New Vegas last night, so very appropriate.
Hell yeah. And that will do it for us this week. Thank you all for tuning in to another wonderful show. And don't forget, as we always say, buy our toys.
Wow, cool robot.
Peach.
Peach.
Do I say Peach on this show? I know I say it on Pot of Greed. Whatever.
I
bye.
think-
You know how it
bye.
is.